Good people of the YouTube and the Patreon place. No, I'm just kidding. What's good, everybody? What's up, my magical family, my mystical family, my spiritual family? This is Unique Divination, and you are tuned into Urban Mystic TV. If you are watching this right now, this means that you have early access and you are a Patreon member. So, first and foremost, well, let me introduce the video first. So, this is full moon in Gemini. Full moon in Gemini reading, which, by the way, falls on Black Friday. So, you already know the moon makes people crazy. So, mix crazy with Black Friday shopping. To all of you who plan on going Black Friday shopping, please be safe. If your elderly parents or elderly grandparents want to go shopping, please let them know that you will go for them. Take what they want and go for them, because we know that people will trample elderly people with no regard. I don't recommend taking children to Black Friday shopping. I'm talking about the dedicated shoppers that wake up 2, 3, 4 in the morning to tear things up in the stores. Children and older people should not be there. So, I'm just saying that you guys should look out for the old people and the young people and keep them out of harm's way, okay? So this is full moon in Gemini, right? Full moon in Gemini, and I've got to give a shout out to my Patreon members. I just gained one more. Yay! So now I have 6 Patreon members. So I really appreciate you guys. I appreciate your support. I appreciate you trusting in me to allow me to read for you on a monthly basis, because when you join my Patreon account, depending on the level you get a reading every month. It could be a general reading, or it can be a specific question that you want to ask. Shout out to my Patreon members, and we're going to start off with T. Makaya N. Shout out to T. Makaya N. Thank you for your support. Jordan K. Thank you for your support. Latasha R. Thank you for your support. Miss Lids. Thank you for your support. And to my newest Patreon member, Umi Says Go. Thank you for your support. I appreciate each and every one of you. I love you all, and thank you so much once again for allowing me to be a part of your spiritual journey. Okay? So shout out to all my Patreon members. We rock, you rock. Let me go through the cards that I have here. I've got a variety of cards, as always. You know we need guidance from more than one different source. I've got the Thoth deck here. I've got a past life card here. A sorcery card here. Crystal healing right here. Rebel Tarot. The universe has my back, and a chakra card. Okay? So to get into this, I want to move all this stuff out the way right now, and I want to focus on this. We're going to move all this out the way. I just wanted to show you the cards that were pulled. We're going to move all this out the way, and we're going to focus on the tarot, the Thoth Tarot. And just take a good look. So we've got, I'm trying to get the glare from the light. We've got Knight of Cups, the Lover's card, and Nine of Cruelty. In case y'all didn't know, the Lover's card represents Gemini. So that is really cool. That is really cool that I was able to pull the Gemini card for the full moon of Gemini. I think that's pretty dope. Alright, so we've got the Knight of Cups, the Lover's card, and Nine of Cruelty. So, if you don't know what Gemini represents, Gemini is the twins, right? It represents duality. It represents logic, reasoning, thinking, being practical. Um, and so these are things that we're going to have to focus on around the full moon energy. The dominant word for Gemini is I think. So we're going to have to start thinking logically and kind of not in an illusionary way. Kind of face the world in a realistic way. If you've been living in a la la land, or thinking about a situation that is going to play out way different than it really will, newsflash, you're going to get some type of awakening. You're going to get some type of rude awakening that's going to slap you back into reality for you to realize that, hey, we need to focus on what's real and not what we imagine things to be, and not how we want things to be. Let's face the reality of the situation. And I just get right into the Gemini card, but let's go back to the Knight of Cups. So the Knight of Cups deals with intuition. It deals with feelings, and he's moving towards this. So it's like, okay, the Knight of Cups is telling us that these are some things that we're going to have to work on. The new moon was Scorpio, so it dealt with transformation and change. Okay, and so now that we're attempting to implement the change, here comes the Knight of Cups telling us that, okay, we need to be more compassionate. We need to have more intuition, a little bit more charm, to kind of attract the people that you want in your life and to keep the people that you want in your life. If you're being mean to people, not being compassionate, not having some type of empathy for people, nobody's really going to want to be around you. The Knight of Cups is definitely in touch with his feminine side, and that is receiving. That is the energy of receiving. And when I think of receiving, especially in this reading, I think of active listening. You guys might hear me say that a lot. Active listening means your mouth is quiet while someone else is talking, and then when they are talking, you can ask follow-up questions so the person knows that you were listening to them. Oh yeah, well, I remember you said this, or you mentioned that earlier. What did you mean by that? So active listening is not talking while somebody else is talking. It's not yelling while somebody else is talking. It's literally zipping your mouth, listening to the person, and then following up with some questions so that the person can understand that you're listening. Throw some nod heads in there, just so that they can be aware that you are listening. And so the Knight of Cups is on the horse, and so he's taking action. The new moon in Scorpio helped us to identify the things that we need to shed and let go. And so now the Knight of Cups is taking action, and he's moving towards it because he wants the transformation. And so, you guys, we need to want the transformation. And then we're going to have to take action to transform. So the full moon in Gemini to me is about taking action, right? Looking at things from a practical standpoint and not from la la land standpoint or what you want it to be, but looking at things for face value and what it is, right? And then taking action. So if you want peace in your life, if you want understanding in your life, you're going to have to implement these things. They're not just going to fall in your lap. Okay? Take action. The Knight of Cups, take action with your emotions, with expressing yourself, with looking at things in a realistic manner, which is going to bring us into the Gemini, the Lover's card. So as I mentioned, the Gemini card represents looking at things from a practical standpoint, thinking things through, not just jumping into things, but really, really thinking about what it is that we need in our life, Again, looking at things from a practical standpoint, right? This card also represents love on all forms. Self-love, love with your partner. So again, we go into having a deeper understanding. Communication skills need to be better. Gemini is a beautiful communicator, wonderful communicator with expressing themselves. And Gemini is about making choices, right? So at this point in time, in a romantic situation and in your personal life with your own self, your self-love, we need to recognize and understand what it is that we stand for and believe. Now is the time to really separate and understand your core values, your beliefs, your morals, what it is that you stand for. So Gemini is definitely going to help you face moral issues. It's going to help you sort them all out. Because this may be a month where you have some moral and ethical consequences, and depending on how you move or understand that situation, it's going to have certain consequences behind it. All right, so, and this could be in your relationship, this could be at work, this could be in your personal life. Whatever decisions you decide to make, you can't sulk over them. You just got to make them and move forward. A duality comes into play with the Gemini because they are the twins. And so I think a balance. I think of bringing together two opposites to make them a whole. And so this also can represent shadow work. Shadow work. We all love the side of us that is happy, ongoing. And we hate the side of us that gets depressed. We hate that side that we don't show to everybody. You've got to embrace and incorporate all of you. You can't hate one thing about you and love only good things about you, right? So let's work on accepting ourselves for who we are. On a relationship level, this can mean let's accept our partners now. There's one thing to just accept fuckery. I'm talking about who your partner is authentically. If you can't accept this person for their good and their bad, then why are you with them? So this is something that you're going to have to evaluate. This is something that you're definitely going to have to evaluate, if you can accept that person for who they are. But before we even get there, can you accept yourself for who you are? So until you can answer that question, I don't think that you have the capacity or the right to want to judge somebody or figure out if you can accept them when you can't even accept yourself. Right? So self-love is the key here. Understanding yourself, understanding what you stand for, your moral beliefs, your ethical beliefs. There may be some type of ethical or moral decision that comes up this month. And depending on whatever situation or action you take, depends on the consequences. So really think it through and really take the time to understand, what is it that I truly believe in? What is it that I truly stand for? What is it that I want to represent and express to people, right? For who I am and what I stand for. The next card we have is the Nine of Cruelty. Nine of Swords, which equals cruelty. And this just basically means that, and it's got Mars on here, so there's a lot of aggression. There's a lot of anger. I feel a sense of sexual aggression. Maybe you and your partner are not compatible in the bed because nobody's expressing what they like. If you're with somebody, especially for years and years and years, and you haven't explored any fantasies or talked about fantasies with your significant other, that's a problem. And sexual frustration is an issue because that leads people to want to cheat. It leads people to want to go outside the relationship when they feel like their partner cannot fulfill their needs. So this question I pose is, have you even expressed to your partner the things that you want to do? Are you afraid? You know, if you can't express things to your partner, I mean, why are they your partner? You know, if this is a marriage, why are you married to this person? You're supposed to be able to tell your deep, darkest desires and fantasies to your significant other. If you guys are on that level. If you're not on that level, then you need to work for it. If you're not married and you're in a relationship, this is something that you need to think about, especially if you're thinking about continuing this relationship, if you're in a long-term relationship and you're thinking about marriage. Sex is a big part. Sex is a big part of the relationship. This is the card I'm talking about now. Sex is a big part of the relationship, you know, and if we're not having good sex, then you're gonna be aggressive. I always say that about, you know, women in the workplace, like, and sometimes guys, but generally speaking, I've only come across really rude women. But when I come across a rude woman at work, I'm like, you know, I know it's messed up to say, but it's like, you can tell she's not getting dick down because she's angry. Women, when we have good sex, when our man really sexes us really good, I know I wake up happy. I be cooking for everybody. I be singing and dancing and cleaning my whole house. I go to work happy as shit. I just do extra work. Like, I'm just happy. When my man satisfies me and he puts it down, like, I'm just on cloud nine and everybody's going to get this happiness. So, you know, sexual aggression is real. And sexual aggression and sexual frustration can ruin a relationship, and it can just ruin you as a person. It can make you morally want to cheat, you know, like you're gonna question your whole morals and values if you're not getting sexually pleased. So that's something that you have to address. It's not, I feel like in a relationship, sex and money and communication skills are very important in a relationship. If you can't communicate with each other, if you don't hear each other, you know, what's the point of doing this? If you guys can't discuss finances, I'm not saying, when I say financial, I'm not talking about, oh, you guys have to make the same amount of money. You got to be able to, some couples don't even want to discuss finances with each other. And then they don't understand why, you know, bills aren't getting paid, or, you know, it's just a mess. So make sure that you're always open to discuss financial management on a weekly basis. You guys are a team. You're working together, right? And then lastly, again, sex. Sex is a big part of a relationship, you know. And to those women who like to deny their husbands just because they don't feel like it, you know, you guys got to work on something. You just can't. You cannot not have sex with your husband for months and months and months unless you have a serious illness. Now, I'm not talking about women who have serious illnesses. That's a whole nother thing. And there's still things that you can do. You don't have to have sexual intercourse. There's tons of other things that you can do to satisfy. You know, so for those women that like to hold out on their man just because they don't want to, they're tired, you got to set something up, because if you don't want him to cheat and you're not giving him sex and you're not touching him, pleasing him, you know, that causes a lot of problems in the relationship. The same thing for men. There are some men that try to hold off on women for whatever reason. Maybe he's tired also. That's not good. So definitely work on that sexual frustration, that sexual aggression. The other thing that I want to harp on as far as Nina's cruelty is how you're treating yourself. You're badgering yourself. You're trying to live up to expectations of other people and this weird fantasy expectation that you have with yourself instead of living in La La Land. I know for a while, I used to beat myself up a lot because I felt like I wasn't in life where I expected to be. and I hated myself for it, and I judged myself so harshly for it, and I had to stop living in this la-la land. Accept your life for what it is. As long as you're continuously improving yourself, you're doing better, on a regular basis, you're improving. There's no reason to continue to beat yourself up, okay? Everybody has high aspirations, or you should have a certain level of aspirations or goals that you may want to achieve in life. And understand that sometimes you may not achieve all those goals, but if you have written down a ton of goals and you've achieved like 30 of them, and you haven't achieved like the last 5 on your list or 10, that's okay. And especially, life isn't over. Life isn't over. You don't know what's going to happen in the future. Stop beating yourself up. Appreciate you for you. Appreciate what you bring to the table. If you're a person that doesn't have a lot of friends like me, I have a lot of associates. I don't have a lot of friends. I appreciate what I bring to the table for the people that want me in their life. This is why I do these YouTube videos, because there's a certain level of people out there that appreciate my craft and what I do, and I have to stop beating myself up and, thinking that, oh, people don't like me. No, there are people that like me. I am attracting the people that are like-minded. I'm attracting the people that are like-minded in my energy, and that rock with me. And that's all that matters. So stop beating yourself up. Stop beating yourself up. Stop judging yourself. You're not doing nothing but hurting your energy, And if you're judging other people, which this can be on a flip side, then you need to stop it, because nobody's perfect. Everybody out here, people should be trying to do the best that they can. And that's all that matters. If you're putting your best foot forward and then you're making accomplishments, what more do you want? What more do you want in life? And so next, I'm going to go into the Rebel Tarot, which is going to tell us all that shit's going to come to you in due time. As long as you're busting your tail, as long as you're working hard, as long as you're working on your spiritual development, your personal development, and communicating with your partner, making things flow instead of making things difficult, all that shit's going to come to you. Don't fucking force it. Do not force the situation. Let things flow. Allow that shit to come to you. Let it flow. Stop trying to force things. If you work on yourself, everything will fall into fruition, right? And so the next card I have is the universe has my back. When I lean on the faith of the universe, peace becomes real. I get real worked up and I get real frazzled and I have really bad anxiety when I don't walk in faith. And you don't need to be a biblical or a religious person to walk by faith. Faith is understanding that no matter what, you're going to be okay, and the universe and your spirit guides are going to have your back. So this means that you're going to have to trust in your spirit guides and your ancestors, and whatever deity, God, Buddha, whatever deity that you rely on or you adhere to in your life, they got you. Right? Faith without works is dead. Okay? When I can lean on faith of the universe, peace becomes real. When you understand and know in the back of your mind that the universe has your back, your world becomes so peaceful. And if you don't believe it, fake it till you make it. Say this mantra to yourself. When I lean on the faith of the universe, peace becomes real. When I lean on the faith of the universe, peace becomes real. When I lean on the faith of the universe, peace becomes real. This is something that I would constantly repeat to myself, because it's very important, right? Extremely important that we understand that when we lean on the faith of the universe, peace becomes real. So the next card that I want to speak about is Rhiannon. And she's a beautiful goddess. She's a lunar Welsh goddess whose name means great queen. She serves important functions, including being the muse of inspiration for poets, artists, and royalty. She's lovingly carries souls from Earth to the afterlife, playing upon her trusty white horse, helping them adjust to the transition of life after death. A shapeshifter, Rihanna can appear to you as an animal, bird, or song. Call upon her for help with manifestation, spirit communications, transition, and artistic inspiration. And her message to us: you're a magical person who can manifest your clear intentions into reality. A large part of your power stems from your connection to animals and nature. If you've been indoors too long, you can recapture your personal power by simply stepping outside. This simple motion will do you a world of good in reawakening your sleeping, magical, spiritual nature. Allow the light of the sun, the moon, and the stars to stir ancient memories that may be dormant. Recall the times of your magic abilities and then put them to use immediately for the good of the entire planet. Resume the mission that once was aborted through the misdeeds of pastime leaders. Take your spiritual arms and move with this swift speed into the night, awakening one and all to the magic that is life itself. This is a mission that must be accomplished, and you're the one who can help us with it. Have absolute faith that your dream is manifested. What did we just say here? When I lean on the faith of the universe, peace becomes real. Make clear decisions. What do we say about in Gemini? Making decisions. Put your energy into manifesting your dreams. What do we say about the Knight of Cups? Taking action. Know that you deserve to receive good. No matter what you've done, you need to let go of guilt and shame. Everybody deserves what they want in life, period. Everybody has a duality, which goes back to the Gemini card, good and bad. Nobody's all good, nobody's all bad. And with that, stop beating yourself up and know that you deserve to receive good. When you win, others win. Keep your thoughts focused on your desire and away from fear. The next card, these are all like jumbled together. I'll fix them up all pretty later. We getting down to business, so when we start talking about these things, cards just be everywhere, you know what I mean? The next card that I have is past life experience. And the past life experience that is affecting us right now in this current situation is this card called Lessons and Blessings. And so if you are experiencing lessons and blessings, if you feel like you're always getting out of something, no matter what, you always land on your feet, it's because of your past life. The lessons that you've learned in your past life have made it so that you continue to get blessings in this life, right? You've learned important things which led you, like I said, to blessings in this lifetime. You've learned how to turn painful events and memories into growth experiences. Okay? And so this is something that you're used to doing. And so you need to understand that. And that just goes back to understanding the power that you have. Understand the power that you have, that you're able to take. So basically, you're able to transmutate, which means when you transmutate emotions and anger and everything, you're changing it from one emotion and using it to motivate. You're using it to motivate, you're using it to goal direct activity. So transmutate is taking it from one thing and applying it for another. And because you've been able to overcome in your past life experiences and you've learned some painful and harshful lessons, it's you've acquired blessings. All the shortcuts and all the miracles that happen to you are not miracles. It's a result of the work that you put in the past. So respect your past life and just thank your past life, and the past experiences that you had for allowing opportunity to open up. Because I don't believe in karma. Everything plays out for a reason. And sometimes our past lives, things that we've done in our past life, play out in this current life. So lessons and blessings. You've gone through some stuff, you've learned, and as a result of that, you've been able to be blessed in this lifetime. and continue to be blessed and have great things done to you, right? Let's see if I can make this look pretty. Lessons and blessings. We've got our Thoth. We've got this. And so the next card I'm going to go to is my crystal healing card, which is the Golden Healer. It's a very beautiful card. Very beautiful. And so Golden Healer represents ultimate healing. It's imbued with powerful transformative healing energies. We just was talking about transmutating. They are a catalyst for profound spiritual activation. Self-understanding. All right. Understanding the quantum world helps you understand yourself. The everyday self is bounded by 5 senses, expanded by 6, which is metaphysics. But this can be transcended to move into a field that is non-local, everywhere and nowhere at once, when there is no time. You create that event. You create the event being observed. Allow your soul, rather than your ego, to be your guide. Recognize your potential to be an amazing healer. Your abilities need honing, and those who heal our soul scoured to develop empathy. Much in your life needs transforming. Surrender willingly to the process. And what did we say? So New Moon in Scorpio was about transforming. This says surrender to the process. This is what the Knight of Cups is all about. He's moving towards that transition, that change, that surrender. He wants it. He desires it, right? You may be asked to transform your environment or take on a challenging task. Do so with grace and ease. Healing flows through you. It is a process, not something you do. All right, this is an exceptionally high frequency crystal. The chakras it helps is the soul star, stellar gateway. It aligns and it cleanses all of your chakras. Timing, it applies for all zodiacs. And the soul path is a channel for Christ consciousness. So this is for awareness, like just activating awareness on a metaphysical level, right? Deep. And this is going to assist in your transformation and your change. Well, the last card that we're going to talk about is completion. A completion card, and the chakra that this card represents is our sacral chakra. All right, so completion, these cards tend to have stories behind them, and I like to tell the stories because it just makes it all the more better, right? Final sunset. Here is a warm and cheerful energy that brings calm to an ending, making it poignant, not sad. Something is taking place outside of your comfort zone, so step into the emotional grace of completion. There is no drama here, only resolution. And so in the picture on this card, you see someone's died, right? It's the end, completion. A life comes to a spectacular close. He was raised in an orphanage and never wore new boots until he enlisted into the army in 1942. By the end of the war, he was a decorated veteran, and he had survived what many of his brothers had not. Later, he became an actor. He was well loved, but history will remember him as a war hero. When he was finally laid to rest, Goddess smiled upon him as she received him into the heavens. Inspiration. This is a reminder to cherish all the beauty in your life, including the endings. Reflect upon your part in history and discover what you value the most. Do not fear completion, embrace it. Personal inquiry. Am I present in the moment? How do I respond to the idea of completion? Key ideas. Honoring your legacy, a natural ending to a grand adventure, a new beginning on the horizon, a new adventure, honoring those who give to us. Keywords, achievement, determination, and fulfillment. And there's a meditation piece for this card. Allow all your feelings about endings to come to you, whatever they may be. Do you fear them or do you rejoice in them? Do some journaling to find clarity in that. And so with that, I want to talk about completion as far as job. Maybe it's time for you to move on at your job. and you're scared to move on because you don't know what's going to come. You're scared of completing and starting over, right? Maybe a relationship just ended for you, and you were taking it kind of hard, but let's evaluate what we got from the breakup and what did you learn from the relationship and how it ended, right? And make peace with the end of the relationship. What did you learn from it? Where did you grow? Where can you grow? Because there's always two sides of a story, and although we want to say that one party helped end it, we both know that it takes two to tango, and you have to understand your part. If you've had a death in the family, like on this card, and you can't come to terms with and grip with why this person passed away, why did this person have to leave you, understand the part that that person had to play in your life and accept that and appreciate that. So let's stop looking at endings like it's a bad thing, right? The new moon was in Scorpio, transformation, decay, and renewal. You got to shed some things for some new things to happen. So let's appreciate our old self. You can't appreciate your new self if you don't appreciate your old self. And be at peace and come to terms with what you are letting go and what you have to offer now and what you are stepping into, right? So let's just go over what we've got going on here. So we had the Knight of Cups, which he's moving into the transition that we talked about in the new moon of Scorpio. He's willing to move forward, focus on intuition, compassion, empathy, just full on understanding what it is that's at stake. Gemini, on a personal level, on a relationship level, looking at things practical, and let's not live in la la land. There's going to be some moral challenges that come up. It could be in your personal life, it could be at work, or in your relationship. How you handle that depends on what's going to move forward next. As far as Nine of Cups, sexual aggression, we need to start opening up to our partner more about what we need in the bed sexually. What are your fantasies? Even if you can't fulfill your fantasies, you still need to express them. Write them down, express them. But I particularly would like for you to express them with your partner, right? Even if you got to do it through text at first, because it can be embarrassing, even for somebody you love. But that's how you grow together, and that's how you trust one another, by opening up sexually. Both parties. Another thing that comes with the Nine of Cruelty is being too harsh on yourself, judging yourself, and being too harsh and judging other people. If you're making progress, it may not be the progress that you want, but it's the progress that you need at the speed that you need. The more you focus on your spiritual development, your personal growth, everything's going to fall into place. And Rebel said, allow that shit to come. Allow it to come. You can't force nothing. As long as you're working on yourself, things are going to flow naturally. Don't fucking force it. Don't force it. Allow that shit to come to you. I trust and understand that, okay? When we lean on the faith of the universe, peace becomes real. You will just have a certain level of peace when you know that your ancestors, your spirit guides, and your deity has your back, right? Rhiannon asked us to recognize the power that we hold, right? And that we can manifest our dreams when you put clear intentions out there, right? And as far as our past life, we've had a past life or some past lives where we have suffered an extreme amount of pain, but we've learned from it. And because of that, as a result of that, it's brought us blessings in our current life. The things that we went through in our past life has opened up opportunities and doors for us in the current situation. And we know that by when miracles happen, when we keep falling and we keep landing on our feet, having outstanding opportunities, like, where did this come from? I just was in a fucked up situation. It's because your past life has been doing some work for your current life. So sometimes we think that fucked up shit happens in our past life and it curses and hexes our present life. Sometimes we do good in our past life and it can affect our current life. And in this way, it affects us with blessings, right? The lessons we learned in the past has blessed us in the current situation. Golden Healer. Golden Healer lets us know. What does it let us know? Golden healing lets us know that, you know, you have the potential to be an amazing healer, not only for yourself, but for other people. Much in your life needs transformation. And there we go with the Knight of Cups. Encourage, someone clings to the past. Someone clinging to the past is holding you back. Encourage them to let go. You may be asked to transform your environment or take on a challenging task. Do so with grace. Healing flows through you. It's a process, not something you do. Okay? And then as far as our chakra, our sacral chakra, we need to understand and respect completion. Completion is not a bad thing. In relationships, when we break up, in jobs, when we move forward from another job, whether we've been fired or just let go, we need to look at that situation and see how it led up to that, our feelings, and what did we learn. And respect the end process and not bitch or complain, but respect it. Respect the end process. Respect it and understand that it had to happen for a reason and that we can definitely learn from it. Work on your emotions and what you feel when you think about things ending or the completion of things. Whether it's bad or good, bask in that. Write it in your journal how you feel and then release and let it go. Okay? So this concludes my full moon and Scorpio reading. I hope you received it well. I hope you received it well. And I just want to take the time to thank each and every person that supports me, supports my channel, supports what I do. All of you that fuck with me on all platforms, I love and appreciate you for supporting me. I definitely don't think of people as like followers or fans. I think of you guys as supporters of my craft. I recognize that you guys respect what I do, and I highly appreciate that. We're living in a time where people are very inauthentic, and I pride myself, especially on my reading and my abilities, on my authenticity. So if you've never had a reading from me and you really appreciate the readings that I give in my general weekly reading, in my YouTube readings, I recommend scheduling a reading. You can click on the link in the description below. It will lead you to my website. Please feel free to donate. You can donate by PayPal. You can donate via my Patreon account. I have other services that I provide, and I also have a shop. So check out my website, www.uniquedivination.com. I also want to thank my subscribers, my YouTube viewership. Thank you so much. If you happen to be watching my videos and you're not a subscriber, go ahead and click on the link and subscribe. And so this concludes my full moon reading. Of course, Patreon members, you will have access to this first. Unfortunately, YouTube viewership, you will get this once my Patreon members have been able to indulge in this wonderful reading. All right, so I have nothing else more to say, and I'm going to sign off. So, deuces. Have a good one.